Hey, and we are the Coalition, loud and proud, civilly disobedient media. We are here at 100 Freight Street, which is the ersatz, as they say, City Hall. It's a little bizarre because you have this somewhat vast industrial / office building, which is largely vacant. The city owns it. The city bought it, I believe, with APRA money. Another stunning use of APRA money by the city of Pawtucket, who is essentially broke, despite what they say, but you got an office building. So that's why we're not at City Hall. With me is old friend, Clovis Gregor. We came tonight because we're going to re-engage with Pawtucket now that the legislative season is done. And on the agenda was a series of back and forth communication with a guy named Jordan Carlick, who is the developer of what should be Morley Field. And anyone who's taking a drive, taking a walk, anyone who might be availing themselves of the services of Open Doors, the Cooling and Warming Center, realizes that the area surrounding Morley Field is, as they say in the vernacular, a bleep show. It is crater-like moonscape / post-apocalyptic, well, it's been a long day, folks, hellspawn. It's incredible to see how an area has been completely ravaged. I'm just going to take a guess and expose God only knows what chemicals to the people living in that community. And I want to remind people, despite its, the mills buildings there and some of the commercial spaces there, that is still a neighborhood, and people live there. And the indecency and the obscenity of a community like Pawtucket selling off an irreplaceable green space for a developer, giving a tax stabilization agreement away, allowing this type of devastation to take place over a period of a couple of years, is astonishing, even by your reporter's cynical, Grinch-like demeanor. Someone who has been a true warrior in the battle for Morley Field has again engaged over the tax stabilization agreement that's in place, over the clear failure of the JK Holdings, the development company, to fulfill even remotely a part of the promises made in order to create this hellspawn transaction. So, Councilman Gregor, this is your ward. This is your passion. You've been engaged with this now for years. We can say years. What happened tonight? What didn't happen tonight? What's about to happen? Trying to bring folks up to date who may not live in the neighborhood, may not be part of the Woodlawn community, may not be completely clear on the events here.
So tonight was essentially. Hi, Pat. How are you? Good to see you as well. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad the legislation season's over.
Yeah,
you can spend some time with us here. So
the Halitosis Hall is closed for the summer, and we now go back to Woonsocket and Pawtucket, the towns that we love.
Glad to hear it. So essentially what happened here today was various communication from the owners of Blackstone Distribution Center, which are the owners of 1 Moshastic Street, the site that you just referenced, the former microfiber. Between them, because we had asked for some updates regarding what's been happening over there, because since 2021, I believe May, when they purchased that property, it's been ongoing, I would call it abuse of the community, literally. From the time they started demolishing the windows and the doors, and they did a haphazard attempt at trying to ceiling it. So that's been the issue. Every time they've acted, it's been because we had to make them. We had to call the zoning department here, RIDM, for whatever, depending on the issues here, so they can act. So they've been, I'm not even sure where to start with this, but in any event, after 2+ years of them continuing to misrepresent their financial situation to the council, where they were with the financing, they finally, I'm going to assume, have been able to get some funds to initiate activities there again. But in the interim, they left the site. I mean, why the city would even have allowed them to start demolishing the site and make it look like you just described, essentially a war zone, for 2+ years. A site that they know is highly, highly, highly contaminated with all sorts of chemicals and harmful substances and everything else, and leaving most of it uncovered, the majority of it, subject to the wind and people breathing it in. Our kids, our children, our community has been essentially contaminated for the last 2+ years. In addition, there was zero remediation measures around the perimeters which would prevent runoffs, contaminated runoff and so forth from going into the Moshassuck River and then eventually into the Narragansett Bay, storm water contamination. But that's been and they initiated actually activities at the site about a week ago with zero remediation measures in place. People drove past there. I drove past there myself. The initial stockings that they had around the perimeter were completely deteriorated, of absolutely no use. No water cannons to bring down the dust from that contamination, nothing. It wasn't, I think, until about a day or so that they finally have started putting some measures. We're not clear exactly how much measures they put in there. But in any event, so in light of everything that's transpired there, and also the fact that they're the reason why Morley keeps being in the shape that it is, that children have been denied since 2021 June, access to their only green space has been totally neglected. And the moral proposition that an out-of-state developer, not even from Rhode Island, could come in here, would have priority over our community and our children is offensive to me.
Absolutely.
The proposal that they should take Morley Field so they could use as a dump site of tons and tons of contaminated soil and debris and then turn it into a parking lot. It runs afoul of the state and the city's climate remediation measures, right? Resiliency, which is supposed to preserve permeable surfaces and not create impermeable surfaces. Especially
that was part of the master plan too.
Yeah, absolutely, it was.
Right.
Yeah. So,
in fact, didn't they? I was at these hearings, by the way, and didn't they? My recollection, first of all, is there was no projected concerns about financing, none, during any of the hearings. It never was even mentioned that there would be difficulty in financing the project. Now, in a larger sense, that's neither here nor there, but from our perspective, as someone who's an observer of this, it points to the stunning lack of ethics involved here. The other issue is that most of the people in this room tonight do not live in that neighborhood. So one councilman just said, let's stay the course, let's give them the time they need. This is like other projects. This is not like any other development project currently or in the recent history of the city of Pawtucket, is it?
I don't believe so. I mean, I'm all for tax stabilization agreements, but those should be, presented to responsible developers who are actually going to improve the community, use their own funds. They don't expect to be fleecing the taxpayers, and do not do the sort of thing that JK Equities and Blackstone Distribution has done, contaminating and our community. And the biggest thing here, really, to keep in mind is that this is not going to be any sort of transformative project for our community. So it's not going to be a catalyst for any future high-quality development for the city. It does absolutely zero for the community. Exaggerations of jobs. We have no idea where, it's undocumented. There's no evidence to back up any of those sort of issues. And I think the quality of life, our children's health and safety, and our community betterment is worth more than anything that they're trying to suggest they would do. This is going to be a monstrosity, taking up an entire city block. On top of, if they are successful, which, we're going to do everything we can to prevent it, to take away the only green space in that neighborhood. You're talking increased pollution and all sorts of harm that's been outlined.
Yeah,
So,
there's going to be issues with traffic remediation.
Absolutely.
Essentially, you're taking and please tell me if I'm exaggerating, but my sense of this project all along is that you're taking away a green space for a community that has none, that would literally have to cross a highway to get any level of replacement. the feeble attempts that were made at replacing the green space with either the Angelica properties or any of the other properties in the area have long since been forgotten. With a mayor, and this is my statement, not yours, with a mayor who's literally received campaign contributions from this developer. It's startling. In any other place in America, there would be pitchforks and citizenry charging up the hill because of just the monstrosity that this has become.
It has. It absolutely has, and you're correct. I'm just going to try to wrap this up. So there's going to be, they have JK Equities, or Blackstone Distribution actually has agreed to show up on August 8th. So I hope people do come up. They're going to answer questions, and we'll see where this is all going. In the interim, it's been brought to my attention that apparently Quonset Development Corporation, which my understanding is that some sort of quasi-state organization, is now involved in this because Blackstone Distribution has executed a mortgage deed to them. We don't know for what amount or what, but Blackstone Distribution essentially assigned or sold all their proprietary right to the property. So we don't know who owns it. And I find it disturbing that a state agency would come and get involved in something so immoral.
Well, isn't that in violation of the TSA? I mean, having watched TSAs, and I'm not an expert, I literally play one on the radio, right? But it strikes me that I wasn't aware that TSAs were transferable.
Well, in this case, it was. It was a 20-year assignable. So,
wow.
So essentially, they could never lose because even if they left today, they would make more money than when they came in here because it's transferable. So whoever's going to buy it, it's going to have a
So they essentially
agreement.
executed a tax deal, a paper tax deal, destroyed a neighborhood, left it open to all sorts of potential physical damage, and probably made money on the deal. And literally, what was the old term, carpetbagger? They came into town, scored a few, as we say in Rhode Island, they scored some scuttle, and then they just stage left. Is that, how is that possible? How could any mayor allow that type of transaction to transpire? Wow.
Well, the condition that the site was left in for 2+ years was not by accident. I think that all of that was, I believe, to try to suggest, well, look at how blight this area. They're going to come and do something again. But what they're doing is not going to, it's going to permanently alter the character and quality of life of the neighborhood. And they create a monstrosity. I don't know how many levels, which is, as we just talked about, it's going to have zero benefit for the community. This deal benefits no one but the out-of-state developer and whoever they've sold or assigned the proprietary right to at this point.
Right.
So,
all right. So the hearing date is when?
August 8th.
August 8th?
Yep. So,
here at the, as I call it, the Ersatz City Hall, the $15 million City Hall, 100 Freight Street. I will certainly be here. Councilman.
Just real quick, Pat. I just want to say I wanted to thank. I know we had a few public comments and letters that were sent in, so I just want to thank Greg Garrett, who's the Moshasek River watershed steward. Also, Cameron Seglia, who's submitted several comments regarding that, well articulated, and also.
The gentleman who's running for mayor also submitted a comment, didn't he?
Yes, but first I just want to recognize. Okay, Janine Silversmith. Janine Silversmith was the executive director for the Rhode Island Environmental Education Association. So she's been a support to us the entire time. So I do appreciate that. And also Adam Greenman, who I understand
he's running for mayor.
Is running or maybe running. Submitted an excellent letter in support, outlining, and if anybody wants to read everything we've been talking about here, he articulates it very well in terms of the damage it's doing to the community.
We're going to be circulating that letter.
Yeah, and also the morality of the entire proposal regarding Morley Field. So I encourage everybody to read that. He does an excellent job. I want to thank Adam Greenman as well for his submission regarding this.
Okay.
Pat, great seeing you, and thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Have a great night, Councilman. Thank you.
Yeah.